Hunter, how did it go? How'd it go?
Great. I think this was a great deposition for us. It proved several bits of our evidence that we've been conducting throughout this investigation. But there are also some contradictory statements that I think need further review. I think that the public hearing hopefully will clear up some discrepancies between some of the statements that were made between some of the associates and what we heard today.
Well, both Hunter Biden and House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer spoke yesterday after the closed-door deposition. Hunter's attorney seemingly rejecting Comer's request for Hunter to now publicly testify. Abby Lowell issued a statement saying this: there is nothing left to ask, answer, say, or do. Joining me right now is Missouri Congressman and House Oversight Committee member Eric Burlison. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much. What was your takeaway from the hearing yesterday?
My takeaway was you have a privileged child who still acts like a child. He is denying the facts that are before him, and he's contradicting nearly all of the previous testimony from the many witnesses that have come forward.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting in part of the questioning when he was asked about who the big guy is. And he talked about that infamous email which said 10% held by H for the big guy. But Hunter Biden said that the person who sent it, James Gilliar, was out of his mind for even suggesting that his father be involved. Is he admitting that the big guy is Joe Biden here?
Yeah, apparently Hunter Biden was the only one of his business partners that believed that his father was not involved. And yet the facts are very clear that there were telephone calls, there was communications, there were meetings where Joe Biden actually had meetings, physical meetings with Hunter's business associates. In fact, by our accounts, he met with, at one point or another, nearly every one of Hunter's foreign business associates.
Joe Biden did, you're saying?
Right. With either through a phone call or a physical meeting.
So
yes.
If that's the case, how is it that the president says he's never met with these people and had nothing to do with these business deals? I don't understand. You're saying that he met with every business partner.
Yeah, according to testimony, that's of all of the Hunter Biden's business associates, he had either a meeting or a phone call with nearly every one of their business their clients. But here's what they often go back to: they either have fuzzy memory of the events or selective memory. They often, and whenever those events are clear and you confront them with information, he can revert to the fact that he was high during the time of those events.
Oversight Committee Democrats are defending Hunter this morning. They're calling for the Republicans to end this impeachment probe now. Watch this.
What we just witnessed, I think, a deep-sea fishing expedition.
If this impeachment inquiry continues, then Chairman Comer and Chairman Jordan are working with Russia.
They're peddling Russian lies. Basically, the Republicans have become synonymous for Russians.
He's a very smart and lucid guy who had a terrible struggle with addiction.
The notion, and that we hear from so many of our colleagues in the Republican Party, is that he was not qualified for any of this. I urge you to go look at Hunter Biden's resume. I had no idea how many different boards he has served on in serious boards in serious capacities.
Congressman, your reaction to that pushback from Democrats?
Yeah, what the Democrats, in my opinion, are boldly trying to defend someone who has been privileged his entire life. The boards that were just mentioned were boards that no one would get on unless their father was a senator or a vice president. And so, and that's the posture in general coming from Hunter Biden, from this family, is a complete misunderstanding of how differently you're treated when you're the son of the vice president, and how you end up somehow with business dealings that most people would never have, and those business dealings fall in your lap magically after a phone call occurs with your father.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but look, let's be clear. Being a privileged kid is not illegal. So he is who he is, and we get all of that. What we really want to understand is how he broke the law. accepting money from foreign adversaries. I know that he accepted a Porsche, the money equivalent for a Porsche from Kazakhstan, and he received 2 diamonds from China. Where is the laws being broken? Explain that so our audience has a clear understanding, not just that he's a privileged kid.
Yeah, I think, well, he directly violates the laws many times in violating FARA. And then in addition, I think the fact that money has directly benefited Joe Biden himself, and certainly other extended family members of the Bidens. So, to me, that's where the law was violated.
Yeah, I understand. Mike Baker, jump in here.
Yeah, Congressman, a couple of quick questions. First, during the course of the deposition, was the question asked repeatedly until there was a clear answer? You know, Hunter, what exactly were you selling? What's your expertise that allowed for all these payments?
Yeah, and he would go back to his resume. He claimed that his extensive resume was just the very reason that anyone would want to hire him. There was no explanation for what he actually provided, what kind of services he actually performed.
Okay, and I guess the last question I've got is, what exactly is the end game here? I think you risk losing the public. Republicans and Democrats came out of this, and they had completely opposite views on what happened. It's like the blind people trying to describe what an elephant looks like, and they have completely different descriptions. Where is this going?
So I think that the next thing that you'll see is the deposition testimony being released. Then you'll have a chance to read every bit of it. And then in addition, we're going to bring Hunter in for a public hearing, and the investigation will continue. Mm-hmm.
Let me switch gears real quick before you go, sir. Congressional leaders reaching a bipartisan deal to keep the government funded past tomorrow's deadline. Lawmakers agreeing to 6 appropriation bills with a new deadline to vote on those bills by March 8th. The deadline for the remaining appropriations bills now moved to March 22nd. The bills will stick to the Fiscal Responsibility Act, discretionary spending limits, and January's top-line spending agreement. Does this mean we're continuing on the spending patterns of Nancy Pelosi?
Unfortunately, it does. We continue to punt the football down the field just once again. I won't be participating in that. I'll be voting no.
All right, we will leave it there. Congressman, good to see you. I think that your no vote and others' no vote, that leaves the door open for a government shutdown next Saturday, right?
Sometimes I think that we have to be willing to do what's necessary and be willing to let the government shut down if it's going to continue in this path.
Okay, either next Saturday or the Saturday after the 22nd, I guess. Congressman, thank you. Eric Burlison joining us this morning in D.C. We appreciate your work, so thanks.